It's your boy Uncle Ev. You are tuned in to Eclectic Perceptions, and we are back with another live real-time reaction because unless you live under a rock, you know that 3 days ago, Future and Metro Boomin dropped their collaborative album, We Don't Trust You. And ever since then, all anybody on the internet's been able to talk about is the song Like That off the album, because apparently Kendrick had some spicy bars for both Drake and J. Cole in his verse. Now, I don't really know what the source of Drake and Future's conflict is, if there really is a conflict. I've heard that it was over a woman that they both were seeing. I've heard that it was because of Drake's decision to do the collaborative project with 21 Savage, which either of those reasons seem really petty to me, especially the second one. But I don't know if either of those are even real. That's just what Twitter's saying. So take that with a grain of salt. Now, when it comes to Drake and Metro's conflict, I remember sometime last year, Metro had tweeted something about the fact that his album Heroes and Villains got more streams than Her Loss, but Her Loss kept winning Rap Album of the Year at all the awards shows, which, I mean, to a certain extent I feel him, because as an artist in hip hop, you're supposed to feel like your project was the best, and he had the numbers, and it was definitely an impactful project, so I get it. But Her Loss was definitely a big and impactful album too, obviously. And of course, Drake, the petty, competitive rapper that he is, had something to say about it. He shot some little subliminals or whatever. But I hadn't really heard anything more about it since then. And we all know Drake and Kendrick have had, I'll call it, competitive tension for years now. I thought things were starting to get back to a better place, because the last time that I heard Drake mention Kendrick in an interview was when he did the Rap Radar interview.
I have a lot of respect for, the other two guys that I'm constantly, up against, which is like Cole and Kendrick.
Three-headed monster.
Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for those guys because they also continue to, stay true to what we started with, and finding new ways to do it. And I'm excited that the decade's about to turn, and we're gonna see who can go that extra stretch, because it is really, I think for all three of us, it is the time to see who can transcend the generations.
And of course, Kendrick had the bars on Father Time, talking about when Kanye got back with Drake, I was slightly confused. Guess I'm not as mature as I think. Got some healing to do. So with that, I thought maybe he was starting to come around to the idea of, repairing that bridge and maybe putting that competitive tension behind them. I did a review of For All the Dogs. Unfortunately, y'all won't get to see it because the file got corrupted. I'm still sick about that. But on there, I said that after hearing Drake and Cole and what they were able to pull out of each other on First Person Shooter, I would be really interested to see what the big three would be able to pull out of each other on a song. But apparently it looks like we're not getting that no time soon, because I haven't heard the song yet, but allegedly Kendrick had smoke for not just Drake, but J. Cole. So if that's true, I guess all that maturity shit is just out the window. Because as far as I knew, Cole and Kendrick have always been cool. Like, they was supposed to do a project together back in the day. They've always picked each other up in interviews. Like, out of the big three, those are the two that's always been like buddy, kumbaya. Cole never had problems with Drake, to my understanding, but I guess Cole's always been the neutral party. But maybe Kendrick just got tired of Cole being Switzerland, or maybe something happened behind the scenes that we don't know about. I don't know. But I'm interested to see, you know, what the bars actually are and if there will actually be a response. Just knowing their history, I sincerely doubt it, because, you know, Drake has never, you know, for all their little subliminal jabs back and forth, Drake has never said Candyman, and I don't think that he will, because he knows that he don't want that, especially after he already lost one battle to Push.
Remember what happened last time?
I don't think he really wants to go through that again. But I mean, they both have traded the subs back and forth over the years, but it's been like subliminals, like the ones that like only the people that are really paying attention would get, and each other would get. Those little psychological seeds, if you will. But from what I heard, this was a little more direct. So let's see what they talking about. So right off the bat, the beat is fire, but I mean, it's Metro, so what do we expect? And speaking of Candyman, the little Metro reference, that was slick. Sticking to the code, all these hoes for the street. Hopping in her nose, it's gonna make her pussy. All my hoes do songs, nigga, all my hoes do coke. 20-carat ring, I put my fingers down her throat. Okay, so far, just Future on his regular Future shit, talking about girls doing drugs and sniffing coke and popping pills and shit. Doesn't really interest me, but the beat's fire. That's pretty much all of Future's music to me. Is like, if I listen to what he's actually saying, I'm just like, but if I just suspend disbelief and just tap into the vibe of the song and the beat and the production, then it's tough. There's definitely something that I could hear getting played in a club or a lounge or something, but no shots yet, at least that I've noticed. So, because I think Future allegedly has some bars for Drake on here too, so we'll see. Got your girl in this bitch, she's twirling on this dick. I got syrup in this bitch, turn up in this bitch. And we about to earth in this bitch, you murked in this bitch. Nice little flow switch there. Like I said, Future's music isn't bad. Like, he makes good music, it sounds good. He just don't be talking about nothing. But not everybody has to. All these pointers on me, baby, you know it's game time. Bring a friend, bitch, we fuck them at the same time. I'm a different nigga, no, we not the same kind. You can have that look, bitch, you ain't mine. I guess that was for Drake. If the beef really is over a woman, you can have that little bitch if she ain't mine. But that's not really a jab. It's just acknowledging that they fuck the same girl and that he don't care. Yeah, after hearing the hook, this is definitely gonna get played in some venues. I know I said it already, and it's Metro Boomin, so it's to be expected, but I really like this beat. The drums, of course, is hitting. The horns give it that little dark, sinister note to it. And if they're gonna be shooting on here, then it fits. These niggas talking out of their neck, put no coughing out of your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for a threat. Hey, let's get it, bro. I hope them sentiments symbolic. Oh, my temperament bipolar, I choose violence. Okay, let's get it up. It's time for him to prove that he's a problem. Niggas clicking up, but cannot be legit. No 40 water, tell him. All right, we got some shots fired. So first off, we know Kendrick is prone to switching up his vocals, but I didn't even realize that was him at first. Like, I had to think, is anybody else featured on here? But let's get into some of these jabs. These niggas talking out of their necks. Don't pull no coffin out of your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for a threat. Tough. Basically saying be careful. Don't say nothing that's going to get you killed. Because just at the slightest threat, I'm liable to go. That's tough. DOT, the money, power, respect. The last one is better. So maybe something happened with Cole behind the scenes. Because I know he usually be in the house, but he's been clicking up with Drake more lately. I mean, they did First Person Shooter, and he's on tour with him right now. So maybe within that dynamic, some conversation or some form of disrespect or perceived disrespect happened between Cole and Kendrick. Because I know Kendrick, said that he felt a way about Kanye linking back up with Drake. So if he would feel that way about Kanye doing it, to where, to our perception at least, he has way more relationship with Cole than he does with Kanye, I could definitely see him feeling a way about the fact that Cole is clicking up with Drake more these days. But, I mean, he's linked up with Drake a bunch of times over the years, at least musically. So I don't know why it would be an issue now. Maybe it's because they've never clicked up this heavy. But I don't know. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but it's got to be something more than what we've seen to warrant, bars about lack of respect, unless that's for Drake. Because I know he's definitely talked spicy about Kendrick a lot over the years, and then tried to take it back or cover it up with saying nice stuff and then go back and forth. So maybe that's for Drake more so than Cole. Now these next bars was definitely for Drake. Say it's a lot of goofies with a check. I mean, I hope them sentiments symbolic. My temperament bipolar, I choose violence. I mean, that couldn't be any more clearly about Drake. When people compare Kendrick and Drake, a lot of, at least when I've been in these arguments, a lot of the Drake fans' main argument is the fact that Drake has more accolades and more commercial success than Kendrick, so he has to be better. But as he said, it's a lot of goofies out here making money. And Drake has definitely done some goofy shit over the years, to say the least. And that's not to say that he doesn't make good music or that I don't enjoy a lot of his stuff, because he does and I do. But that doesn't negate the fact that he's done some questionable, at the very least, stuff over the years, including with his music. Now, the part about them sentiments being symbolic, I feel like that could be about Drake's, nicer sentiments more recently about them being the big three, or, specifically the stuff that he said that was more positive about Kendrick lately. So that could be Kendrick saying that he don't believe the sentiments that Drake is saying, and he thinks that he's trying to throw stones and hide his hand. And the part about my temperament bipolar, I choose violence, I mean, clearly.
Yeah, get up with me, fuck sneak this and first person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches. I crash out like fuck rap. This medic belt if I had to. Got 2 teams with me. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos. It's up. Lost too many soldiers not to play it safe. If he walk around with that stick, it ain't Andre DK. Think I won't drop the location. I still got PTSD. Motherfuck the big 3. Nigga, it's just big me. Nigga, boom. I'm really like that. And your best work is a like that. Nigga, Prince, I live my jack. Nigga, boom. For all your dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these 9s. You gon' see Pet Cemetery, nigga.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. He said a lot just then. So I was hoping that maybe this would be like, just on some competitive shit. Like, just sending little competitive jabs here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like, what it's basically been over the last couple of years between Drake and Kendrick. Or even if you go back to the Control verse where their whole conflict just started, like that verse got taken so out of context because it was literally just Kendrick bringing the competitive spirit back to hip hop, and Drake got in his feelings about it, but everybody else that was named in that verse took it the way that it was supposed to be taken, as well as some people that weren't named, but that's neither here nor there. But this seems a lot more direct and heated. And as much as I love seeing Kendrick in attack mode, and I love it for the game, it makes me wonder what happened between him and Cole, because that is unfortunate. Like, I still, I love that they had that friendship, and even though we never got it, I would have loved to see them actually come together for a collab, even if it was, after both of their careers kind of slowed down a little bit, which it feels like it's gonna get to that point soon, because I know Cole's gearing up for the fall off, but he's said that this is probably gonna be his last album, and that's why he's putting so much more output out these days, with all the features and whatnot. And Kendrick be on his disappearing act already, so I could definitely see Mr. Morale being his last album, at least for a long time. So potentially that could have meant that their lives had slowed down enough to do the mystery project that we all wanted from them. But to hear Kendrick tell it, don't sound like we getting that shit. He said niggas clicking up but cannot be legit, no 40 water, tell them. Fuck sneak this in, first person shooter, I hope they came with 3 switches. So definitely for both of them, like, I was thinking maybe people was gassing it and the smoke was more for Drake than Cole, but nah, this is definitely for the both of them. Now the fuck sneak this in part, I don't know what he's talking about specifically, because I know Drake's sneak dissed him multiple times over the years, but unless there was something on For All the Dogs that I missed, I don't think it's happened anytime recently. And I don't think Cole's ever sneak dissed him, and I don't even think there was anything on First Person Shooter that was sneak dissing. I mean, Cole did have that one bar about the big three. Is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey or me? We the big three, like we started a league. Right now I feel like Muhammad Ali. But that wasn't like a jab at Kendrick. That was just competitive rap shit. Him, putting it out there that, we're the big three, but I'm the one. So maybe this is Kendrick's attempt at doing that, but if that's what it is, then he definitely went a little harder than he probably needed to. But I don't know, man. I don't see how he could justify this as just being competitive rap shit and not actually going at these niggas' necks. Like, he really just went crazy here. I crash out like fuck rap this Melly Mel if I had to. Got 2 T's with me. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos. Like, he's just willing to do, he's with whatever. Like, he don't care. He's on that if we all go to hell, it'll be worth it type time. Lost too many soldiers not to play it safe. If you walk around with that stick, it ain't Andre 3K. Like, see, now we getting into something different. Like, he talking about stick talk. That's a little bit more than just competitive rap and shit. Like, I don't think that this will actually get to there, because they're all grown men with kids and families and careers that have been cemented, that they're not trying to to hear Kendrick say maybe he is willing to risk it all, but I don't believe it. I think that part is just competitive rap shit and just talking shit and putting his dick on the table. But him even going so far as to say this on some competitive shit is like, yiza. Think I won't drop the location. I still got PTSD. Motherfuck the big three, nigga. It's just big me. I mean, as one of the big three, as one of the biggest rappers of his generation, he's supposed to feel like that. He's supposed to feel like it's just him. I feel like rap has gotten to a point, not the same as it was when Kendrick dropped Control, but definitely more kumbaya, more, everybody collabing and clicking up, and a lot more of the melodic stuff and not niggas just rapping, which, I mean, it's not a totally bad thing because there's still a lot of good music out here, and there is a lot of niggas out here that's like just rapping, but that's not what's being pushed to the forefront. And it's not a lot of that competitive energy anymore, at least not in the mainstream. Now this is where he really just got beside himself. Nigga bum, what? I really like that. And your best work is a light pack. Jabs. Nigga Prince outlived Mike Jack. Now, I don't know how I feel about that one. So I guess he's drawing the comparison between him and Drake's rivalry and Prince and Michael Jackson's rivalry. And he's relating himself to Prince and Drake to Michael Jackson. Drake and MJ, they both had the accolades, the commercial success, the public pedestal, but Prince and Kendrick are the artists. Of course, Prince was a musical savant. He was a prodigy with all these different instruments, on top of being able to sing and dance and all that. Whereas Michael, he couldn't play all the instruments, but he made bigger and more accessible music. Same with Kendrick and Drake. Kendrick, he is making concept albums. He's really taking the craft seriously as far as his pen and building out stories within his albums and really going deeper places creatively, both with the lyrics and with the production. Whereas Drake is a very formulaic artist. He makes good music, but not great music. He has a formula that he's gonna follow that he knows is gonna work every time, and he does not deviate from that formula. Every album he's gonna give you a couple of Drake's version of whatever the sound is of the moment, whether it's Afro beats or reggae or house music. He'll give you a couple of bangers, just heavy hitters, Metro Boomin type beats, Hit Boy type beats, the first person shooters, the what would Pluto do's, that type of shit. The shit that's gonna bump in the whip. He'll give you a couple of those, R&B Drake with the 40 production to give the day one fan something to hold on to, and mail it in and call it a day. And it's gonna work every time, but he's not necessarily pushing himself creatively in the same way that Kendrick is. And you know what? I just remembered Drake had that bar on First Person Shooter talking about he's one away from Michael. So that's even more parallels, I guess you could say. But I do think it is at least towing the line of disrespect, because I see why you would make the comparison of Drake to Michael with the records and the accolades and the pop star power, but Michael's artistry was definitely not phoning it in and just collecting the bags and the trophies in the way that Drake is doing. So it's not a clean comparison there. And in terms of their career and their legacy, Michael is definitely outliving Prince. And that's not taking anything away from Prince, because Michael's outliving everybody. Like, nobody is ever touching Michael in terms of legacy. Like, Full stop. Let's get that conversation out of here. But I don't think that's what Kendrick is trying to say. I think he's just saying some slick shit and saying that his music is going to outlive Drake's in the same way that Prince outlived Michael physically in real life.
I'm really like that. Hey, your best work is a late pack, nigga. Prince outlive my jack, nigga. Boom. For all your dogs getting buried, that's okay with all these nines. You gon' see Pet Cemetery, nigga.
And then in case anybody had any question of who Kendrick was talking about, if anybody wanted to try to do mental gymnastics to say that he's not talking about Drake, we got, for all your dogs getting buried, that's okay with all these nines, going to see Pet Cemetery. Like, come on. Come on. So now my question is, what actually happened? Because clearly something set Kendrick off, and clearly it was something fairly recent, because he's making references to First Person Shooter and For All the Dogs, and that album just came out a few months ago. This could all just be just some competitive rap shit, and Kendrick just seizing the moment and adding some extra sauce on it just to, stir the pot and get the competitiveness back to the sport. If that's the case, I think that he definitely took it a little far, but I mean, this is hip hop, so there really is no too far. But we'll see if Cole or Drake respond. I mean, Cole is in album mode. He's got off season coming out this year allegedly, so we'll see. And Drake, I don't know if he's gonna be willing to step back in the ring after the way it happened last time, but we'll see. You never know. We might get something exciting out of all of this. But until then, thank you all for tuning into Collective Perceptions. I definitely appreciate all the support. If you like what you saw here, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. As always, any support goes a long way. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.